All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our customer town hall. I'm really excited to be sharing the news that all of you have heard at this point, because if you hadn't heard the news, you wouldn't have received the link to join here today. But we definitely wanted to spend a few minutes walking through a little bit about Cleo, why this marriage makes sense between Cleo and DTS. And so I'll just start by going through the agenda first. So my name is Tushar Patel. I run marketing here at Cleo. So I'll be one of the faces that you'll be seeing often. My team typically does a lot of the customer communications, and we run events and so on and so forth. So you'll definitely be hearing from myself and other folks on my team. Today, what we wanted to walk through is what's in the news, right? So we've heard a little bit about what's in the news. We have a little bit of a CEO welcome. So Mahesh is going to be doing a little bit of a welcome there, and then we'll walk through some of the values and cultures of Cleo, because we really believe that values and culture is really what drives a lot of everything that we do, whether it's roadmap, whether it's how we look at customers, whether it's how we look at our customer support and our customer responsiveness. Then we'll go into a company overview. We'll give you a little bit of an idea of who Cleo is, a little bit more, with the foundation of our cultures and our values, but then what are some of the products and problems that we've solved? Who are some of the customers that Cleo serves today? And then last but not least, we'll get into some of the innovation that Cleo has really drove into the industry, which will give you an idea, a little bit of an idea of how Cleo likes to drive the engineering, the product, and the innovation side of our business. And then we'll end it with some next steps in Q&A. So a couple of things. You do have a Q&A box in the Zoom. Go ahead and drop any questions that you have into that Q&A, and we will answer those questions to the best of our ability. If we can't answer them now, anytime you ask a question, it does record it, and we can always get back to you. So if you ask it as an anonymous, it makes it harder for us to get back to you. So if you do want to ask that question very specifically, with your name in there, then that will allow us to follow up if we're not able to answer the question. So what is in the news? In the news is DataTrans Solutions has been acquired by Cleo. And we are really excited by this because there are just so many great and complementary elements of these two businesses and these two cultures coming together. And I don't want to steal any thunder, but what I would say is, if there's one message I want you to walk away with from this slide, is we are better together. And I truly believe that, and you'll see that the DTS management team is on here, and the Cleo management team is on here, and we're going to walk through that. And so with that, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Mahesh Rajasekaran and Mike Franks, who are the respective CEO, president of Cleo and DataTrans. Mahesh, take it away.
Thank you, Tushar. Welcome to all the DTS customers, DataTrans customers, the Cleo family. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to bring these two companies together with outstanding combined value proposition, all the way from some of the largest enterprises to medium-sized businesses to lower middle market companies. And our passion is to help supply chains work better. I have a career in supply chain, especially the last 2+ decades. I spent time on supply chain strategy, supply chain planning, and have this burning desire over the last 12, 15 years about how to bridge this gap between supply chain planning and supply chain execution, right? That's where EDI comes in. That's where API comes in. That's where it's all about how companies successfully foster their ecosystems so they can capture more revenue, can drive more operational profit, drive profitable growth, be easy to do business with their customers so that they can capture more revenue and market share. So that's the passion. And as Tushar mentioned, it's better together. 1 + 1 is going to become 3, 4, or 5. And we are really looking forward to learning more from the DataTrans customer base on the types of problems they're trying to solve, and where we can bring our expertise, combine expertise, and make this an amazing business together. My sincere thanks to Mike Franks, the founder and the CEO of DataTrans, for having built an amazing business over the last 20 years. The great people he has, like Robert, Fisher, Chris, Sandy, and a very strong team, which is deeply passionate about taking care of customers, especially the smaller customers. Make sure that they can do a better business in the retail ecosystem, the manufacturing ecosystem, and be successful because of better supply chain execution, which encompasses EDI, integration to QuickBooks, integration to Sage, integration to NetSuite, Dynamics, all of the digital automation of their order to cash and procure to pay processes, right? So with that, for us, it's always about culture and values. One of the things that really hit it off with me when I first met with Mike was how much the companies have this DNA built around values and culture in terms of core value system, the kind of people we have, in terms of how we take care of our customers, how we champion practical innovation to make sure our customers are successful. And ultimately, it's all about the results that we drive for our customers, the business case we build. Right? So these are the 4 core values of Cleo, which is around people, customers, innovation, and results. And specifically with people, we focus a lot on hiring the best talent in the supply chain space. Right? And we also do a lot of hard work grooming talent. We hire a lot of people sometimes fresh out of college, and through a whole bunch of training around supply chain, around technology, around automation, around AI, we group them faster than others in the market. And we are a true meritocracy. We give a ton of opportunity for people to very quickly progress within Cleo. Second, from a customer, deeply passionate about making a customer outrageously successful. And this to us is through the lens of an ecosystem. We care about our customers and our customers' ecosystem competing better against their competitors' ecosystem, right? Which is, how well you're able to respond to your customers, right? How well you're able to streamline your own internal suppliers. Can you meet and exceed the SLAs the promises you make to your customers, such as on time and full, and all the other notifications that you're considered easy to do business with, so that a Walmart or a Kroger or Target or Amazon ends up driving more business to you. So you capture more market share, and ultimately you get better pricing power. Innovation is very central to everything we have done, and I'll be happy to share some of the nuggets in the space in the next several minutes. One of the things that we focus a lot on is practical high-value innovations. We're not about innovation for the sake of innovation, right? Wherever we innovate, it's about doing something better to help our customers operate their business faster and more profitable. A lot of it came in the early 2011, 12, 13 timeframe. We realized that supply chains were broken primarily because the B2B space, the B2B integration space, the supply chain orchestration space was sort of old, and it's old school, and people are just doing the same way they're doing EDI. They were just slapping some APIs on top. And we said, look, we have to help these customers run digital enterprises, help them, automate the order to cash, but also become seamlessly powerful from e-commerce perspective, right? Be able to manage the omni-channel, be able to get to dynamic pricing. So those draw a lot of high value practical innovation in Cleo, and ultimately it's about winning results, right? And you achieve those through integrity, teamwork, and accountability. This is where our brand promise and art of appreciation comes. We have deep appreciation for our customers and for the business. And because of that, we see this continuous, what I call the virtuous loop of being able to provide more solutions, help them get more value. And because of it, they expand, they bring on more use cases in Cleo, and we start compounding value for our customers, which then gets to our core DNA. The core DNA within Cleo is we say we never stop. And that's because global supply chains do not stop. I just imagine you might human beings are to take a break in the evenings, in the nights, in the weekends, during holidays. But if you think about a global international supply chain, that's not going to stop, right? You're going to have, trucking issues somewhere. You're going to have some customers canceling, some customers wanting to expedite, right? Some logistics provider not delivering on time. And so we never stop taking care of our customers 24/7 globally. And we have organizations, with the resources globally. So we just bring in the customer-focused software company with services and other capabilities to make sure we strive to live up to the commitments that our customers are making to their customers on an everyday basis. And that really captures the essence of a brand experience. And we could see that from some of the very positive comments from our customers, right? It's all about delivering results. As you can look at this, the top left is Juliet is a CIO of GenPro, and one of the things she talks about is we offer agile technology to make their business GenPro agile, so that they can meet and exceed the growth plans, allows them to adapt and expand rapidly in response to changing business needs. Top right, Auto Logistics. This is a large brokerage, truckload and less than truckload brokerage. And for them, it's all about relationships, the kind of relationships they have with the carriers and the kind of relationship they build with their shippers. And the whole logistics business, and definitely the brokerage business, is all about relationships and all about meeting commitments. Right? You need to take care of the two-sided marketplace very well. Bottom left, Duraflame. As many of you know, they make wood logs and they have seasonal demand. And one of the challenges was, how do I meet these seasonal demands in a way that we can say yes to all our customers ordering on us and capture revenue? And we essentially orchestrated a sort of a global supply chain order to cash process so that they could say yes to every one of their B2B transactions, primarily purchase orders, respond to them, acknowledge them, advance ship notices, and be able to invoice on time and capture revenue and profits. And bottom right, a very large manufacturer of peripherals, printers, fax machines. Brother International is a Japanese-based giant with significant business in the US, working with Cleo on the Cleo Cloud to provide a better way to onboard onto the retailers, onto the distributors, and with a better overall experience through EDI. So they're seeing huge increase in customer satisfaction, which is translating to improved growth and market share capture. Okay, so with this focus on Cleo's core values, I want to give you a little bit of an update on Cleo as a company. Right, the combined company has a nice scale. Right, it's a 2012 company, 5,000 plus customers worldwide, 500 plus employees worldwide, 5 global offices. You can see the Net Promoter Score. Some of you may know what it is. It's basically, it's a scale where getting something in the 30s is considered world class for software companies, and we are 48, which is basically, the net promoters. People who call us the 9 out of 10, the 7 and 8 don't count, and below 6 and below is negative. So with a very, very stringent, tight way of measuring customer satisfaction, customer delight with Cleo, we are proud to have a 48 Net Promoter Score, and we continuously work hard around the clock with Cleo Never Stops DNA to make our customers appreciate working with us, because we put their business and their interests first. 99.95% SLA uptime in the cloud, 126 partners. This could be large SIs like the Cognizance, the Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte of the world. Could be very small managed services companies and a small implementer who's implementing NetSuite, implementing Microsoft Dynamics, implementing Acumatica. We just foster these tight partnership relationships. From a value proposition, customer value proposition, there are sort of 4 areas we focus on from a digitalizing supply chain. One is automating order to cash, right? Everything between a company and its retailers or their customers and buyers. Make sure that ordering process is nicely orchestrated. Second is digitalizing procure to pay, which is the other side, making sure the buying process is streamlined with some of your largest suppliers and to some of your tiniest suppliers. Making sure that procurement process across supply chain operations and finance is neatly automated. Then streamlining freight order to cash, which is primarily for logistics companies, 3PLs, brokerages, and carriers, to make sure that we can seamlessly allow them to capture demand and freight orders from the shippers, and all the way through delivery of whether it's outbound, inbound logistics, to make sure they can have proof of delivery and collect cash, right, which is the lifeline of the business. And then the fourth area, which has become extremely significant the last several years, is e-com, right? E-commerce and marketplaces. And now we are seeing a situation where I think by 2027, you would probably get to a point where 45% of the business, of the global business, is going to happen on e-commerce in some way, right? People visited your store, then they're ordering online, they ordered online, they pick them from the store. There is an e-com influence about half the business in 2 years. And so this is something we are so focused on. It's not only selling into Walmart, but also selling to Walmart.com, not just Home Depot, but HomeDepot.com, working through Shopify, working through, all kinds of storefronts, be able to enable a very seamless omni-channel experience for our customers. And how are we doing that? If you look at the right side, it's with 3 things. We have an integration platform which scales to billions of transactions. This innovation platform is seamless. It can manage EDI, API, could be XML, flat files. It can move, transform, integrate, and orchestrate data and information tied to business processes. Second is a digital network, a network of all the different trading partners, customers, and suppliers and logistics providers you're connecting to, and a whole bunch of ERP systems, right? Everything from the SAPs and Oracles and Enterprise to NetSuite to Dynamics to Microsoft Business Central, sort of in the mid-market. And in the lower mid-market, you have anywhere from, the QuickBooks, the Sages, the Acumatica, the SAP Business Ones. And then ultimately, the value is in the relationship management, because EDI in many ways is compliance. It's a means to an end. But ultimately, the end is, are you a better supplier to a customer? Are you able to proactively notify when there are changes? Are you able to figure out, course correct if there are any errors, right? That's where the relationship management comes in. That is where you're just meeting and beating every one of the SLAs you signed up to. And when you do that, you're going to capture more market share, right? And all of you know this, but it's something very central to what we do at Cleo. Most of the competitors view EDI as a compliance problem. I need to set up EDI so I can, get orders from Walmart. To us, that's the first step, is the foundation. But can you differentiate yourself the way you interact with Walmart, that they actually give you more business than your competitors? Does that allow you to command better pricing in your renewal cycles, right? And we have a lot of focus around these 4 industries: manufacturing, CPG, food and beverage, automotive, industrial, logistics, carriers, 3PLs, brokerages, freight forwarders, cross-border, lots of wholesale companies, both on the industrial side, but on the food and beverage side, and retailers. Many of the largest retailers in the world leverage Cleo as a hub, right? So with that, we also have global businesses 24/7. I talked about Cleo being headquartered in Rockford, Illinois. We actually have a location in Chicago as well, in downtown, for those who are familiar with Chicago. We have Amsterdam, Netherlands, and UK presence in both Netherlands and UK. So we have a strong presence in the Benelux market, the Nordics market in Europe. And a lot of our customers do have selling into Europe, right? So that's a key part of global supply chains, spanning the Atlantic in the US and Europe. And then in Bangalore, India, we have a large organization which takes care of our customers in terms of the cloud, managing services, support, deployment, etc. And now the latest addition is Houston, Texas, in Woodlands area with DataTrans. And we also have a lot of presence in Silicon Valley, California, and we have a lot of presence in Pennsylvania. And so we are a global business, and we just take our customers very, very seriously. And in all of these locations, and most of these locations, we do all functions, which is building products, managing product management, services, support, customer success, right? And that's very critical to our core DNA. And then this actually brings me into the large cross-section of customers that we service, and the amount of learning we get in the retail supply chain and the industrial supply chain, as you can see. So one of the advantages, and first of all, we are so grateful that some of these leading brands trust Cleo for supply chain innovation and ecosystem integration. What's exciting is the amount of footprint, right? Some companies do a little thing in a large company and claim them as a customer. But if you look at some of these biggest names in the world, their supply chains largely run on Cleo. And that's pretty neat, right? And because of that, we're so grateful. We learn a lot. If you look at trucking, many of these customers do have brokerages. For example, Purelator, one of the best customers in Canada, just emailed us a couple of days ago. They bought Livingston, which is a large brokerage doing cross-border across Canada, but also in Europe. So now a carrier and a courier business in Purelator now has got a lot of freight operations, cross-border, and brokerage, right? And we see this the other way around as well, right? Where we see brokerages getting fleets. And so one of the things is a lot of these trucking companies have, like for example, Schneider, is listed in the 3PL, but a third of the business is brokerage. So Cleo supports a 5 billion business worldwide across a lot of the full truckload, but also a meaningful high margin brokerage business. And we see very similar dynamics in retail and wholesale. They've got some of the largest retailers in the world. You can see the big names, right? They use Cleo, but also some of the significant distributors like KeHE. Cleo manages 40,000 SKUs across 30,000 locations of KeHE. They're one of the largest, food distributors in the world. And so we just are very thankful. And same thing with O'Reilly. They manage a large the cross section of auto parts, with 4,000 plus auto parts, ton of co-packers, a lot of suppliers, right? Bunch of dropship. So one of our strengths, and then you can get the CPG, food and beverage, right? And then of course, core manufacturing outside of CPG, like industrial companies like Mueller. And the big learning for us across the board is that Cleo experts are able to have a front row seat to what is happening in the ecosystem. So we would be able to lean in and help. Hey, we heard this from Walmart. We heard this from Walmart dropship. Or we heard this from Amazon making some changes to FBA, which is from Amazon. Because a lot of times we are actually on both sides. And this gives us, the ability to, share across. Of course, we preserve and protect confidentiality, right? That's core. But we have a lot of best practices. How our suppliers in your space have done well? What is the 5-step maturity model where you first start, crawling before you walk, before you run, before you sprint? Our experts can bring in that expertise, not just, set up an EDI or a document, et cetera, which a lot of people will do. Do you want an 850 purchase order? Do you want an 810 invoice? That to us is foundational. But what we are so excited about and what makes everyone at Cleo tick is the amount of value we are getting our customers to capture because they're able to scale up the revenue. They're able to scale up the profit. They're able to reduce their operational costs. They're able to meet the requirements, the SLAs they've signed up with their customers, right? Which then sort of takes me to the team at Cleo, which is so focused on taking care of the customers. So I want to introduce some of them on the call here. Dave Brunswick, he runs our product. Tushar, you met, he's our Chief Marketing Officer, so you'll see a lot of communications from him. Ken Lyons, he's a Chief Revenue Officer who also manages all of the customer success. So you would see him, talk to you in terms of new use cases, but also talk to you in terms of your satisfaction levels, be able to, help you with channel relationships. If you want to get to know somebody who can do Acumatica implementation or NetSuite implementation, we have a universe of resources we can bring to bear. Vipin Mittal, who's our Vice President of Customer Experience. That's the name we have for services and support. Jorge Rodriguez is the Senior VP of Product Development. Stephanie Freeman runs HR and Jacob runs Solutions. We also have Robert Fisher and Chris and Sandy from DataTrans join us along with Mike. So we have a lot of people here to support our customers. And we have a very easy, flat kind of an organizational approach. Not a flat organization, but a flat approach, meaning anybody and everybody is available to take care of our customers, right? We just cut through information quickly so we can take care of you. It could be late in the night, it could be, evenings, weekends, holidays. Cleo's always on. And then we truly live by the mantra, Cleo never stops. So I just want to spend a couple of minutes on, the category leadership that we have been focused on. And when I use the word category, when we started this whole thing about 12, 13 years ago, 2012, EDI seemed to be a really old space, right? IBM Sterling had some Sterling Gentran stuff. We had Axway doing it, open text. There's SPS Commerce trying to, beat up suppliers. True Commerce buying a bunch of companies. And we said, look, we have to do something fundamentally different in the space, right? And so if you look at the modern Cleo from 2012, it was more of a managed file transfer business, became a B2B integration business, with any data transformation from 14 to 17. We were the first ones to put a multi-tenant cloud in the B2B space. There was MuleSoft and there was Boomi on the application integration space. Cleo just pioneered ecosystem integration with cloud integration, not hosting. We just basically put a multi-tenant cloud, and from 17 to 21. Then we started building a supply chain network from 21 onwards. And right now, we are so much focused on supply chain orchestration, solving the gap between planning and execution. We have enhanced procurement automation with the addition of DataTrans. We are very focused on AI in the context of identifying disconnects in the supply chain so that you can course correct rapidly, right? Can we glean more insights from the supply chain data? Most companies focus on master data. Very few focus on transactional data. We said, look, the transactional data that people discard is a gold mine. And we're looking at data analytics and insights that can drive data-driven decision-making through supply chain data. And you can see this quote from Sherry Levo, Senior Research Director at IDC. and IDC is one of the largest research firms in the world, like Gartner. And essentially, they call Cleo as one of the disruptors in the space, and very particularly calling out the ability to do procurement automation and relationship management. Our comprehensive approach is helping our customers achieve next level in end-to-end supply chain orchestration. And finally, I'm just going to quickly wrap to take questions. If there's one thing you want to take away, what Cleo did is we took this old way of doing things to your left, which is you have an EDI technology, right? Then you get some Shopify connector, you do some APIs, you have a van. When you do that, they're also siloed and they result in fragmented processes. And we said, look, the way to go and help customers achieve digital automation is to have a complete platform, top left, API, EDI, automation, everything top left. Build a network, top right, which is trading partner network and ERP, TMS, WMS network. So it seamlessly is connected. Bottom right is be able to have end-to-end visibility and real-time actionable insights so you can rapidly course correct if a buyer is upset with you or if Amazon has got some issues with your delivery, right? And bottom left is very critical. You should be able to do self-service. You should let somebody else completely do managed service, have some other consultant do managed service, right? Across everything from setting up to managing, you need complete control and flexibility. If you do that, you will accelerate your revenue capture. You'll exceed all your customer expectations and SLAs. You'll be able to eliminate manual business processes. And most importantly, you can proactively course correct and be successful in your supply chain and hence become a more profitably growing business. So with that, there are some next steps, but Tushar, maybe we should take questions first.
Would you mind if I make a couple of comments real quick?
Yes, Mike, please.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, don't believe what you're seeing on your screen. My name's actually Mike Franks, not Robert Fisher. So apologize for that. But just real quick, I just want to say the combination of Cleo and DataTrans really creates an exciting company that will transform the e-commerce landscape. As we started looking at combining the two companies, it became clear that we have a complementary set of solutions rather than competing products. So the combined organization, as Mahesh mentioned, is much stronger with a broader set of solutions. And just looking at some of the QA, I'm going to handle some of this right off by saying it's important for DataTrans customers to know that there will be no disruption on the platform you are on or the EDI, the solutions we're working with or the people you're working with. So the platform and the solutions that DataTrans has that the DTS customers are on will remain. The people that you've been working with will also remain. I think one of the things that intrigued me most when discussing this acquisition with Mahesh was the fact that they were very interested in our solutions, our talent, our technology. DataTrans fills some of the gaps that the Cleo solution lineup was lacking. So our Web EDI, DTS Plus, DTS Enterprise, our onboarding capability will now be combined to complement Cleo's existing ecosystem. And that's really going to provide the market with a more comprehensive set of e-commerce onboarding solutions and integration solutions that's available from any other e-commerce company. And I just want to thank the Cleo team. You guys have been wonderful, and welcome the DataTrans team into your family. And thanks to all the fantastic folks on the DataTrans team. All you customers have gotten to know them over the years. Again, they'll continue to provide excellent support and services to our customers. The bonus is there's going to be additional solutions as your company grows, and we're better able to fulfill your needs down the line. And, finally, just thanks to our wonderful customers. We appreciate the relationship we've had over the years and we've established, and we're honored to provide you with those services and look to continue to do that for many years to come. So I just want to make a few comments, and maybe that addresses some of the questions I was seeing on board. Any other questions?
Yeah, no, fantastic. So why don't I cover some of the next steps here? I think we had a slide on this, and then there's a few questions. I'm going to call upon the team here to answer some of this. So yes, as both Mike and Mahesh said.
If I may just add one thing to what Mike said. First of all, It's been such a pleasure working with Mike and the team, point one. Second, it's so complementary. So there is some question that came up about, are there, I think the overlap is minimal to none. It's basically, we have web EDI, we have a great testing portal, we have a supplier portal, all the things that we don't have at Cleo. And the teams are already working together. You can actually see Dave and Chris. I think they're somewhere in Silicon Valley, California, together in a conference room. And they're really bringing these things together. And thanks to Mike, we actually got all of this going for a couple of months plus, thinking through, and now we are getting to the next level. Same thing with Robert Fisher on the operations side, and he's got a lot of technology background with the product teams. So, it's super complementary. And if there are any questions around ERP integration and some gaps, Cleo has all of those connectors and technologies and accelerators to bring them to bear. So I think 1 + 1 is truly going to be 3, 4, or 5, probably more like 5 than a 3. So Tushar, I just want to make sure that I followed up Mike on that. So
Absolutely. No, absolutely appreciate it. So just a couple things just to punch down, right? Cleo is going to continue to support the same products and services. So I know there's a couple of questions around that. We'll get to some of the specifics there because I know there's a little bit more detailed questions that came through. No change. This is super important. No change to your current sales and support processes, right? So the same phone numbers, the same emails, the same support process that you've been following, please continue to follow that until further notice. Yes, over time, we will integrate the processes together and with the hope that we're going to continue to make that process seamless for you and better for you. But in the short term, until further notice, no changes there. Please continue to work with the individuals and or the processes that you were working on. We are in the process, as you see, Dave and Chris are in the same room. We're in the process of getting the teams, the processes, all the communications integrated into Cleo. And the goal there is to be as seamless as possible so that you don't have any disruptions in any of the folks that you're working with or any of the projects that are there. So with that, one ask I do have is if you are working with your IT department or if you are part of the IT department, please go ahead and add Cleo.com to your safe senders list. So in case any emails don't end up in your junk or in your non-focused inbox, that's always helpful to ensure communications aren't missed. And then last but not least, our ultimate goal is to create value for our customers, right? And we're going to be doing that through a collaborative effort, through conversations with customers, conversations across the two teams coming together. So what you can expect is more opportunities to create value for yourselves and your businesses as well. So with that, I'm going to go through and just go through some of the questions here, and I'll call upon the team here. So I'm going to put them all on the spot here. One of the questions is how will this affect current DTS customers who are in the middle of ERP integration projects? So I'm going to pass it to Vipin and Robert to follow up on that.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Tushar. So as Mahesh mentioned, my name is Vipin. I am responsible for services and support here at Cleo. And I am really excited to be sort of part of this integration, right? I mean, I'm looking forward to integrating this awesome product technology and also the expertise that come with Robert and Sandy's team. So having said that, if you have any questions about your projects or something on how they're going to progress further, of course, through Robert, you can reach out to me or in the chat. I'm going to put my email address and phone number. Feel free to reach out to me. Any concerns, hey, how is it going to be going forward? I would be happy to answer. For those who don't know, Robert has been leading services on DTS side, and Sandy has been the lead on the support side of it. I'm sure you're familiar with them, but I will put my information for follow-up. So I'll make sure that I respond to that question.
Perfect. Here's another question. This is going to go to Dave and Chris there. They're in the top right on my screen. They look like they're in a Cleo office somewhere. It says, will DTS customers still be using the DataTrans portal, or will everything be migrated into the Cleo portal? I know this is a big hairy question, so I'll pass it to you guys to answer.
Yeah, so Chris and I, as mentioned, we're here working together on integration strategy around the products and how we bring them together as one offering. The vision there is the DataTrans components will stay as part of the broader offering. So the customers will continue to use the DataTrans portal and it will be kind of wrapped into the broader Cleo offering over time.
Perfect. Perfect. There's a question here. It says, will Cleo acquire DataTrans as trading partners as well? We have a customer that Cleo does not currently integrate with according to the website. So I'll pass that back to you, Dave.
Yeah, and I think the previous answer kind of covers this in a sense that, you know, we're continuing business as usual with the DataTrans portal and trading partners associated with that. So there would be no change, and in fact we're looking forward to getting some of the information about the partners we don't currently have, so we can bring them into the broader offering as well. But so the continuation will be with the DataTrans offering, and therefore the DataTrans trading partners associated with it.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's just a great testament to the complementary nature of the two organizations and the technology and the IP underlying both of the offerings there. There's one more question which was answered, but just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. The question was, hey, we're a small transportation company with just one EDI trading partner. Originally, it sounds like this organization engaged with Cleo, and Cleo was a little bit overkill. Are you still going to continue to support, you know, smaller customers like me? And the answer is yes, absolutely. That's part of the bringing of the two organizations together, is it allows us to serve a broader customer base, and it allows organizations to also have innovation paths as they continue to grow. So have a scalable solution as they go from one trading partner to 5 to 10 to hundreds, right? As you know, Mahesh mentioned, we have a lot of customers who are on the smaller end, and we have a lot of customers who are on the larger end. And by bringing in the DTS IP and the products and the people, it allows us to better serve some of those smaller customers as well. So, all right. Yeah. From a question perspective, I think, you know, most folks have the same questions. Oh, here we go. The questions that came through here. So it looks like we've answered a lot of those questions that are there, but I'll stay on the line here for, you know, another 10 or 15 seconds in case there's any other questions. And Mahesh, I'll pass it back to you with any parting thoughts here, but, you know, we can probably give folks 5 or 10 minutes of their day back.
Thank you, Tushar. As I pointed out, you know, Team Cleo is always available to respond anytime, and we know there is a lot of information, right? There are a lot of things that progress quickly, but the one thing I would assure everyone is we put up quite a bit of thought coming in. So Mike and I spend a lot of time, the team spend a lot of time. So we deeply care about customer success, and we think the combined company can help our customers create more value. I think that's where the whole thing starts, and it ends, because if we can help our customers, you know, achieve better growth, better profitability than the competitors, then everything becomes easy for us. And we also listen a lot to our customer inputs, because one of the things that we do, and I mentioned, is practical innovation, right? Anything we do has to make an impact with our customers, and the only way to do that is to go visit our customers, talk to them on Zoom, meet them in person, and get feedback around the whole ecosystem, around the retail supply chain. So I'm looking forward to a collaborative dialogue. We have, as Tushar hit upon, there are multiple Cleo Connect conferences throughout, you know, we're doing this year. And then we're doing additional webinars as well. The Cleo Connect conferences are in person. Allows our customers to meet other customers, to meet Cleo folks. Just creates a more intimate welcome to Team Cleo as well, to meet people in person. I travel around the country and around the world meeting customers. So please, you know, send your questions to anybody, you know, on the group here. Always reach out to customer success folks. We will find a way to talk to you, hear your inputs, hear your feedback, hear your ideas, and we're here to make the combined customer base extremely successful in the years and decades to come. Yeah.
Fantastic. Mahesh, one more question came through around timelines for the integration, and the question was, looks like a lot of it is TBD and until further notice. And the answer is yes, absolutely. The acquisition just closed last Friday, and so as you can see, the teams are working through on some of those timelines. The team has already been integrated into Cleo's communication system, so everybody at on the DTS side has been given access to Cleo email addresses, and they're in our internal systems as well. So some of that integration has already begun to happen. So you might see folks starting to transition over to Cleo email addresses here in the short term. So you can probably expect that to happen within the next 1 or so weeks. The DTS email addresses and all that will continue to forward to the Cleo ones, but what you should expect is some responses coming from Cleo.com email addresses. So that's probably the primary change that you will experience here in the short term. And then over time, we're going to be continuing to communicate with you around product roadmap and some of the expectations that are there. And that's why Dave and Chris are sitting together. The entire engineering teams have had an offsite for the week to do some of this planning. So we are moving swiftly, but we are also making sure that, we're making the right decisions so that, it's the best for all parties involved in terms of creating value for you. So hopefully that answers most of the questions that are out there that might be a little bit lingering. So thank you everybody for the time. Thank you to all of the management team that joined this morning. Appreciate you being available today. But if there is any other questions, refer back to the FAQ. There are some communication vehicles there, phone numbers and email addresses that you guys can reach out to there. And then from my perspective, if there's any other questions, I'm just T Patel, first initial, last name @Cleo.com. Happy to provide you a recording of this if you need to send this to any of your additional colleagues within your organizations. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we will talk soon. Go Eagles, maybe? I don't know. Go Eagles.
Thanks,
All right.
Eric.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.